Hello friends, welcome to Solving Sudoku. So I've been thinking for a long time what would be the best way to help people learn how to play Sudoku and also slowly get better at it as time goes by. And I've realized, I think, probably the best way to do that is to do puzzles with them, to do Sudoku puzzles together. So I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically do every puzzle that's in this book. This book is incredible. I've probably bought this book like 7 different times. The puzzles are amazing in it. They're very difficult, and you have to know the different logical rules that you can use to solve Sudoku puzzles in order to solve these puzzles. And that's kind of what I want to go over with everyone as we go through these. Of course, I'm only going to do like one a week. So really this is going to take forever probably, but it's a fun project. It's a fun thing to do while we're kind of stuck in our homes. And yeah, so I think it's very enjoyable. I would highly recommend that everyone go and buy a copy of this book. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it at bookstores. Try not to get a used one because you know somebody wrote in it. And it's really affordable. It's like $7. Go and pick one up and just try to do the first puzzle. I'm doing the first puzzle right here on the whiteboard. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to go over each little logical tool that we use in order to solve these things. And if you get stuck, you can watch the video. And if not, you can just post, didn't need the video, thanks a lot, or whatever you like. All right, so let's give this a try. I'm going to try to write down, there's only like 10 logic rules that we need to know in order to solve these puzzles. So I'm going to try to write them up here as we come across them. The first one that I've written up here is just basically how to do Sudoku, which is you've got the numbers 1 through 9. You cannot repeat them in any row or column or big box. So basically, there's a 9 here. We know there's a 9 here because that's how the puzzle's set up. We cannot have another 9 anywhere in this row or anywhere in this column or anywhere in this big box. This is the only 9 we get for those 3 areas. So basically, when you put a number inside one of these little cells, that really dictates what's going on around it. 6, for example. Can't have any more 6s here. Can't have any more 6s here. Can't have any more 6s in here. So that's the basic rule of Sudoku. Put 1 through 9 in all these little cells with no duplicates in rows, columns, or big boxes. There's probably fancy names for these things, but I'm not going to, I don't know them. I just do Sudoku for fun. Oh, another key is we're never going to guess. We're going to use the logic rules that we have in order to solve these puzzles without guessing. So grab the book. Try to do it yourself first, and then we'll watch together. Okay. So what I like to do when we're starting like this is I just start from the beginning with 1. And I just want to see how many 1s can I fill in, if any. We may not be able to fill in any 1s. So I have a 1 here. That means I can't have any 1s in this column at all. I can't have any 1s in this row at all. And I can't have any more 1s in this big box right here because I already have 1. So this one is solved. Let's talk about this one up here. There's no 1 in here. So we could try to find out where the 1 goes up in here. So we know this cannot be a 1 because we already have a 1 here. So this is out. We also know that there's a 1 over here. So we can't have 1s in either of these. We already sort of counted this one out, but this one's counted out as well because we can't have any more 1s in this. So basically, 1s can only be up here because we don't have a 1 down here to help us out. That's one thing I should go over real quick. I'm going to write tiny ones up here so that we know ones can go up there. Okay, that's the only place in this big box that ones could go. Either here or here. We haven't decided which one yet, but it's one of those two, because it can't go down here because of this guy and this guy. So when you look at a big box to try to figure out where a number could go inside of it, diagonal never helps you. If the fact that there's a 1 in here makes no difference with this big box. It can't help us. When you choose a big box like this, you can only get help from the big boxes to the right of it and the left of it, if there are any, and above it and below it. No diagonal. So in general, when you choose a big box, there's only 4 big boxes that can help you. If we choose this one, then this can help us, and this can help us, and this can help us, and this can help us. But the diagonal cannot help us. If we choose this one, then these two can help us, and these two can help us. But these diagonal ones are no help, or these ones either. So in general, when you're looking at a big box to try to figure out where numbers can go, there's 4 other big boxes that can help you. And they have to be in the same big column here, or the same big row. Okay, good. So we know where the ones could possibly go in this big box, only at the top here. Good. So let's talk about ones down here. Because we know basically where they can go here. We know where it goes here. We already got that one solved. What about this one? So we come down. It looks like we can't have a 1 here because there's a 1 right there. But I don't have any help from ones in these two. So I think ones can go everywhere else. So I'm just going to put ones like crazy all the way down here. All 6 of these little cells can have ones. But not this one, because of this 1. And I'm going to say something that's a little bit obvious, but I want to make sure that everybody gets this. Actually, up here is a good example of it. We know that ones can't go here because of this 1. But what about here? There's no 1 telling us that we can't have ones here. Well, obviously, we've already solved these 3. We will never erase one of these big black numbers that was written in for us in the puzzle. I mean, if we look at this puzzle here, you guys can see 263. That's already solved for us. There cannot be a 1 in any of those little cells because it's already a 2, a 6, or a 3, right? I know that's super obvious, but that's the way these logic things work. If a cell is solved, you can't resolve it. Okay, good. Yeah, so ones can only be up here. But down here, wow, there's a lot of room for ones. But we wrote it down, so we're good. We'll slowly erase those and be able to figure out where it goes eventually. So now, let's talk about this big box. Where can the ones go here? Well, we know, because we've chosen this box, the only help we can get will come from this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. We're not going to get any help from these diagonal boxes. So for now, we can kind of just forget about them. So we know there's a 1 right there. We can only have 1 in this column. So none of these can be ones. And we know that there's a 1 here. So none of these can be ones either. Because of this row. This row already has a 1. So what we've kind of created here is this sideways T. So that means that we can only have ones up here and ones down here. So I'm going to write them in. Okay. And now I'm going to teach us, I guess, our second, this might be our third, because it might be wise to say you can't have new numbers in a cell that is solved. That is a logical thing. But really, the big second thing that I want to kind of teach you about this is if a big box can only have a number on the top, the middle, or the bottom, then it cannot be on the top, the middle, or the bottom in the other big boxes. That's confusing. So 1 can only be in the top of this box. It's either here or here. We know one of these two is going to be a 1. These are the only two choices. If this is a 1, none of these can be 1s. And if this is a 1, none of these can be 1s. And those are the only two choices. So no matter how this turns out, the 1 for the top row is already solved. Okay? If we have only the top row as an option in a big box, then it cannot be in the top row of the other two big boxes that are in a row with it. So I need to erase these. Because it can only be on the top in this big box, it cannot be on the top in these two boxes. Okay, I'm going to write that over here now. And we're going to go over this and over this and over this. So if it hasn't sunk in yet, it's just fine. We're going to see it 100 times. And I'll try to re-explain it slightly differently each time we get there. Okay, so I'm just going to write if number is restricted, let's say restricted, that's good. If number is restricted to a certain row or column in a big box, it can be erased from the same row or column in other big boxes. And of course, by others, I mean the ones that line up. Because looking this way, this is no help, right? We can't say, well, it's in the left side, so it really kind of can't be in the left side. You know, there's something we'll get into later, but that's much later. But this doesn't help us much going down. But these are in a row together. They're right next to each other, right here. So they cannot be over here. Okay, and we'll keep bringing that up over and over again. Good. All right, so we got the ones there, the one there, the one there. We got the ones here. We even got to erase a couple of them. So now, looking at this, look. These ones, this is the only two places ones can be in this box, right? This big box, we've determined. So, because it can only be on the bottom, it cannot be on the bottom here, and it cannot be on the bottom here. If this is 1, then no 1 can be anywhere else. And if this is 1, then no 1 can be anywhere else. So it doesn't really matter at this point because we've already solved the 1 there. But if that 1 wasn't there, we would be able to say it can't be on the top, it can't be on the bottom, it's got to be in the middle. But it is in the middle, so we're good there. All right, let's jump down to here. So we're going to work on a 1 for this big box. The boxes that are going to help us, the 4 boxes, are going to be this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. We cannot use these diagonal boxes for help in this box. Okay? So there's a 1 here. That's great. That means none of these can be 1. Now, we already knew this one couldn't be 1 because there's a 9 there. But these two are out. Okay, we don't get any help here, so could be these 6. What about these bottom 2 boxes? No help over here. We got 1s everywhere. And over here, yep, there's no 1 there, no help. So we're just going to write all these in. These 6 little cells could be 1. We don't know. All right, good. Jump up to here, already solved. So let's jump down to this one. So the 4 boxes that can help this are this one and this one and this one and this one. We cannot use these diagonal boxes to help us. But we've got a 1 here, so we automatically know no 1s on the bottom. It's already solved. It's right there. Can only have 1, 1, so that's out. The middle, hey, we got a middle one solved here too. So that's out. Good. Up here, we've got a 1 right there. So this is out. So these are the only 2 that can be 1s. And this one is already solved, so that clearly cannot be a 1. So this is our 1. That's awesome. Great. Okay. That's the first number we got to write in. That's great. Okay. So now let's talk about this guy. This box, only 4 boxes can help it. These 2 and these 2. The diagonals can't help it at all. So we're going to start here. Here's a 1. Bam, it takes out this. Here's a 1. Takes out that one. That just leaves these 3. But 2 of them are solved. Because 2 of them are solved, we get to write a 1 here. Very cool. We solved 2 1s. Now, I forgot to mention, when you solve a number, it's wise to go back and clean up your other little numbers, but you also don't want to forget where you're at. And we'll go into this more later, but be aware. Right now, we know we have finished with 1s, but we've got to do some cleanup. So that's good. 1s are done, but we have to do some cleanup. So this guy we solved. Does that help us with this? No, we've already solved it. With this? No. I mean, it did help us, but there's no cleanup to do because it's already solved. This is already solved, and this is already solved. Wow. So solving this 1 did not give us any cleanup to do. But this one gives us some cleanup. Not up here because it's already solved. Not up here because it's already solved. But what about over here? We have 2 little 1s right there as possibilities. But there's a 1 in this column, in this row. So we cannot leave these little 1s here. This is now wrong. So I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to get rid of that. Because we know you can only have 1 1 in this entire row. So now these over here are gone as well. Good. So that's cleaned up. That's cleaned up. So these 4 could be a 1. These 4 could be a 1. These 2 could be a 1. And those 2 could be a 1. All right, our 1s are looking pretty good. So let's move on to 2s. Okay, so 2. I guess we'll just start with this one here. This one's already solved, so I'm just going to go down. So on to this one. We're going to do this box. That means that this can help us, this can help us, this can help us, and this can help us. So a 2 here means we can't have any other 2s in this column. So these 2 cannot be 2. A 2 here means we can't have any 2s in this column aside from that one. So these 3 are solved, even though this one was already solved because it's a 1. Same with this 5. So those are out. So we've just got the middle. It can only be in the middle. And we have a 2 right there. So this row is saying not that one. So that just leaves this one and this one as possible 2s. Everything else cannot be 2 because we have a 2 here, we have a 2 here, and we have a 2 there. If we only had a 2 solved in here, that would let us solve this one, but we'll get there. Good. So this is done. This is as done as it's going to get. That's done. What about this one? Boy, 2s aren't looking good. We don't have a lot of 2s. So we're going to be writing 2 a lot. Okay, so this box can be helped by this one, this one, this one, and this one. It cannot go across the bottom because this 2 is already solved. I don't have any help from here. I don't get any help from here, and I don't get any help from here. So all of these are possible 2s. That's a lot. Okay, good. Now how about this box? So the only things that can help this box are this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. The diagonals do not help. So this is no help. We don't have a solve 2. They're not, if these 2 were like this way, if it was like this could be a 2 or this could be a 2, then, and it was only at the top, this one wasn't there, then we could use our weird rule and say, ooh, it's only at the top. Therefore, it cannot be at the top on this one. But it's not true here. We've got these 2. For going this way, these are totally spread out. They're a mess. Going up and down, it's pretty cool, but not side to side. So, all right, so this is no help. This 2 can help us because it's solved. So we can't have any 2s in here. Nothing across the middle. This is no help. We got 2s everywhere. This is probably going to be 2s everywhere. I don't see any help there. So nothing across the middle. That leaves this one and this one. Those are our 2 possibilities. What about down here? All right, so we can use this and this and this and this. This is no help. This is no help. This is help. That's cool. I see a 2 right there. So that entire top row cannot be a 2 because we've already got one right there. So that's cool. No help over here, unfortunately. So everything below the top row could be a 2, except for the 9, of course, because it's already solved. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Good. All right, so this is done for 2s. This is done for 2s. Let's move on to this. We could get help from these 2 or these 2. Here's a 2. That's good. So nothing across the bottom. The whole bottom cannot be a 2 because we already solved a 2 on the bottom right there on this row. This is no help. We got 2s all over the place. Not good. Oh, we got this 2. That's good. Okay, so we can't have anything on the left. So nothing on the left or the bottom. It's like a big L, but we can have 2s here. So I'm going to write them in here. Good. Now some of you are probably yelling at your screen about down here. These are going to be lined up, super cool, but we're going to get there right now, okay? So let's talk about this box. Here, 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 here can help us. Across the top, we can't have any 2s across the top. Doesn't help us much because we've already solved 5, 9, 8, so obviously they're not 2s. But we got this 2, that's awesome. So nothing on the left. Okay, so that just leaves these 2 because 6 and 1 are already solved. Now, according to our rule, we have 2 2s in a column, and they're only in that column inside of this big box. If this is a 2, none of these can be 2. And if this is a 2, then none of these can be 2. And those are the only 2 choices. The 2 is either here or here. We know that. And because we know that it's either here or here, it cannot be in the middle up here. So these can go away. It can only be in the middle here because that's not an option. Only here. Therefore, it cannot be in the middle here. It has to be on the left or the right. In this case, it's on the left. And it cannot be in the middle up here. It has to be on the left or the right. In this case, it will be on the right because we erased the other one. So that's cool. That really helped us. The fact that this 8, 6, and 1 were solved told us that the 2 goes in the middle. It can't be here and it can't be here because they're already solved. It must be in the middle. Therefore, it cannot be in the middle for those. So that was cool. We got some good knowledge there. Good. Okay. We didn't get to solve any 2s. That's a little depressing. But I think the 2s are basically as done as we're going to get them for now. So that's good. Okay, cool. Let's move on to 3. All right, so we'll just keep going in our little goofy pattern. 3 is already solved here, so that's awesome. What about this guy? We're going to move on to this. We can only get help from here and here and here and here. So we can't have a 3 across the top because that one's already solved, so the top is out. We can't have a 3 down the right side because that's already solved for that whole column, so no luck. So we've got this weird upside down bracket looking thing, and we're just going to write 3s in here, here, and there. Good. There's no 3 help from here. There's no 3 solved, and there's no 3 help from here, unfortunately. So no luck with that. Okay, good. What about this one? We know we can only use these 4 boxes for help. There's a 3. That's awesome. So the 3 can't be on the right. We've already solved 2 and 8, so it's a pretty good help. At least we know this one's out. So it's not there, but I don't get any 3 help from either of these. So I think all 6 of these can be 3s. Ay, ay, ay. So I'm going to write those in. There we go. Okay, 3s. Good. One thing I do want to point out just real quick, I do the numbers in order. Like when I get sloppy writing, like what is that, you know? And later on I could be like, what is that? But I just try to remind myself that I go in order. I don't want to do 8 next, because if I put an 8 next to the 3, then then there's a 4 and then a 7. It gets very confusing for me. So I just go in order. I just go up. All right, so those can be 3s. So we've got this whole big column complete as it can be for 3s. So let's move on to this one here. All right, we know we can only get help from here and here and here and here. Here's a 3. That's awesome. So the bottom cannot be 3 because it's already solved there. No 3s in the bottom. Any help from here for 3s? No. Any help from here for 3s? No. Everything else could be a 3. So I'm going to write these in. This is a lot of 3s. There we go. Okay. So now let's move on to this one. No help from here for 3s. We got a lot of 3s in here. There is a 3 there. That's cool. We can use these 4 boxes. So that's great. So this 3 tells us this cannot be 3. That's cool. No help from 3s here. No help from 3s there. So just not across the top. That's all we really know because of that 3. So I'm going to write these 3s in. Boy, 3 is not in great shape. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so the writing of this 3 helps me determine that that's a 2 because it's written horribly. All right, good. So anyways, not that that's solved as a 2, but sorry, that it's hard to read, but it is a 2. Okay, so now let's go on to this one. So we can get help from these or these. Wow, there is no help. There's no solved 3 up here, no solved 3 there, no solved 3 over here, no solved 3 over there. I think this is the worst one yet. Okay, so I'm going to put 3s in all of these. Oh, that was a little crazy. I think I might need to fix that. That's a 1 and a 3. There, that's better. Okay, good. So, that's as done as we can get it. That's horrible. Okay, let's go on to this one up here. And we know we can use these 2 and these 2 to help us. So, we have a 3 here. That's cool. So it can't be anywhere on the bottom. And then we have a 3 here. That's cool. So it can't be anywhere on the right. So this bracket is out. And that just leaves these 4. One of them is already solved, so it can't be that one. So we're just going to put 3s here. There we go. Good. Okay. This one already solved. Super cool. So we don't have to write a bunch of 3s there. Let's talk about this one. We're going to get help from here and here and from here and here. So this is no help, 3's everywhere. This is no help, 3's everywhere. This is no help, tons of 3's. There's some help. Of course, the problem is it's on the right side, which we literally already have solved. So it doesn't really help us. So the 3 that are open can all still be 3's. There we go. Good. Okay. All right. 3's weren't very successful, but we got them done. All right, let's move on to 4. So, I've already got this one solved. That's good. It looks crazy, but it's good. How about this one? So, we know we can use these 4 boxes to help us. Here's a 4, so it cannot be on the left. Here's a 4, so it cannot be on the bottom. We've got this L again. I like pointing out the shape so that it's easy to remember the possibility of where it can go. This is a big old L-looking bracket thing. So these 4, that one's already solved, so clearly it's not going to go in there. So that just leaves these 3 for miniature 4's. There we go. Let's go down to this one. So 4 cannot go on the left because it's already solved up here. It cannot go on the bottom because of this one down here. Once again, we got our cool little L bracket thing, which means we only put, so we've got the L bracket, so it can only go in these 4, but 2 of them are solved, so it can only go here and here. And this instantly reminds us of our second rule again. These 4's can only be in the middle of this big column. There's no 4 possibilities on the left because it's already solved here. There's no 4 possibilities on the right because this 4 negates this, and these 2 are already solved. It can only go in the middle of this big bracket. And because it can only go in the middle, it cannot be in the middle up here. So I need to erase this. And I need to erase this. And now we get to learn our next rule. This is rule number 3. And these are logic rules. So once you hear them out loud, they sound kind of silly, at least some of them. This one's kind of difficult to wrap your brain around, but you'll get it eventually. But this one's going to sound kind of silly. If 4 can only go in one spot in a big box, a row, or a column, then that is where it goes. The only choice for 4 in this big box is right there. It can't be on the left because of this 4 right here. It can't be on in the middle because of these 2 4's right here. It can't be on the bottom because of that 4 right there. It can't be right there because that's already solved. That only leaves that cell. Okay. If a number can only be in one cell in a, and we're going to say in a row, column, or big box, in a row, column, or big box. We're going to say that over and over and over again. This is all about rows, columns, and big boxes. If a number can only be in one cell in a row, column, or big box, then it goes there. I have terrible handwriting. I apologize. All right, so this is the only place a 4 can go in this entire big box. Therefore, a 4 goes there. Bam. Okay. So now we would want to do a tiny bit of cleanup, but there's really no cleanup to do because we haven't even got to these yet. Plus, that one's already solved. So, but great. So we were able to solve that because of the information we gleaned from down here. Very cool. Done, done, done. All right, let's move on to this one. We know we can get help from here, 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 and here. So It cannot be across the middle because it's already solved across the middle. No help from over here. Don't have any 4s. Here's one. It cannot be across the middle going up and down either. So it's like a big plus sign, which means it can only go in one of the 4 corners. No help from down here, unfortunately. So that's cool. One of the 4 corners. We haven't seen that little shape yet. 4, 4, 4, 4. Good. Okay. Awesome. How about this one? Already solved. Great. This one's done. As done as it can be. This one's done. How about this one? So we know from looking at these, we've got a 4 there. So it cannot be in the middle. It's already solved. Middle is out. Here's a 4. Cannot be across the bottom. It's like an upside down T. So it'll just go in these 4. Now, of course, this one's already solved, so it's really only going to go in those 3. So that's cool. 4, 4, 4. There we go. Good. Okay. All right. That's awesome. So this whole big column, as I like to call it, is done. How about this one over here? We know we can get help from these 2 and these 2. These 2 are no help because there's no 4s there. But there is a 4 here, so that's cool. It cannot go across the middle. It can only go across the top or the bottom. So let's get those written in. 4, 4, 4, 4. Cool. Okay. How about this one? No help from these 2, but we get help from these 2. It cannot be across the top because that one's already solved. It cannot be across the bottom because that one's already solved. So it can only be in these 2 across the middle. Now, this is what we've been talking about. Here's the opposite side of the same example. We could look at this and go, oh my gosh, it can only be in the middle in this row. Therefore, because it can only be in the middle, it cannot be in the middle here, and it cannot be in the middle here. Now, of course, we already know that because this is solved as the top, and this is solved as the bottom. But I want to point out that that is exactly what we're talking about with rule number 2. That's 2 in a row in the same row or column inside a big box. Therefore, it cannot be in the middle here, and it cannot be in the middle here. But there's nothing to change because these are already solved. Good. The last, oh no, we already have it. Okay, cool. Ooh, I made a mistake. Look, that 4 is solved. I totally missed that. I hope you guys didn't throw anything at your screen. And mistakes are just fine. They're definitely going to be made. I have a little advantage because I can always stop and then edit it out. I'm not going to do that for this, of course, because that was an easy fix. But yeah, good. We should have seen that. That cannot be a 4 because this 4 is already solved. Nice. Okay, 4s are done. Let's get on to 5s. So we're going to solve 5. Wow, this is the first number aside from 1 that we've needed to work on up here. All right, so 5. We know we can use these 4 boxes, none of the diagonal stuff. 5 cannot be on the left because it's already solved there. 5 cannot go across the middle because it's already solved there. So it's like a big T. So 5 can go in these 2 and these 2. But these 3 are already solved, which literally means that the only place 5 can go is right here. So this is done for 5s, okay? And when we look at this, we see, wait a minute, number 3, the only place a 5 can go in this entire big box is right there. If that's the only place it can go, then that is the place where it goes. So I need to erase everything that's in here and just make this a 5. That is the only place a 5 can go in this entire big box. And that tells us something else. Now, because of this 1 blocking all of this and all of these others solved, this is the only place a 1 can go. We didn't even have to double check that because we can see That's the only place that has a 1 up in the little corner. That's it. So that is a 1. Okay, so I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to put a 1 here. 1 could have gone here and here, but we realized that was a 5. Therefore, it's definitely not a 1 because it's a 5. And that means that has to be the 1. So cool. So now we don't want to forget where we are. We're working on 5s, but we got to do some 1 cleanup, perhaps. And the cleanup will only deal with these 4, right? So when we look at these 4, are there any 1s across this top that we get to erase? No, there's only 1s on the bottom. And we knew that because these 1s could only be on the top and that 1 is in the middle. So we can't do any cleanup this way because there's no 1s to erase. But what about down this way? Are there any 1s here to erase? No, that's already solved. Ooh, look at this. We can get rid of some 1s here. So I'm going to get rid of this 1 and this 1. Still got a ton of 3s to deal with, but that put us down to just 2 1s. And we can say to ourselves, oh my gosh, those 2 1s are only in the middle. Therefore, they cannot be in the middle for these, right? Now, of course, we already know that because the 1 on the left is solved and the 1 on the right is solved. So therefore, they can only be in the middle. But yes, that is rule number 2 again, okay? Good. So I think all of our 1 cleanup is done. And we were working on 5s. We finished that one. That one's already done. So we're going to move down to this one. So we know these boxes can help us. So 5 cannot be in the middle. No 5s in the middle at all because it's already solved. 5 cannot be on the left because it's already solved. That only leaves these 3. Now, 2 and 8 are already solved. That only leaves that 1. So we know, because of rule number 3, if a 5 can only go in one spot, or any number, it goes in that spot. That's the only place a 5 can go because of these 2 5s, and these 2 are already solved. This 5 helps us too, of course, but it's already solved. So that's 5. That's awesome. Okay. Well, shoot. Let's go to the middle. This one's already solved. So let's jump down to this one. We know we can use this and this, this and this. So this 5 says no 5s over here. We can only have 5s over here. These 2 can be 5s. No help down here. No help from over here. We get help from over here. Nothing across the bottom. But we already kind of know that because the 1 is solved. So we can just put 5s here. To explain it another way, these 2 5s make a big bracket. Therefore, it can only go in these 4. But these 2 are already solved. Therefore, it can only go there. All right. Hopefully, you guys have noticed, hey, these 2 5s are in the same column inside this big box. And there's no other 5s. 5 has to be on the left in this big box. Therefore, it cannot be in the left, up here, or down here. These 2 cannot be 5 because 5 will be here or here. It won't be anywhere here. They're already solved. It won't be anywhere here because of this 5, and that 9's already solved. It's got to be on the left. Therefore, it cannot be on the left. Here and here. These will not be 5. We got to remember that. Okay, so luckily we're moving right on to this right now. We know 5 cannot be on the right because that 5 is solved. Those are out. It cannot be on the left because of rule number 2. These are out. It can only be in the middle. Any one of these 3. But we get help from these. It can't be on the top because that one's solved. So it's only these 2. And it can't be on the bottom because that's solved. It's only that 1. This is the only place 5 can go. Therefore, I can erase all this, and I can put a 5 right there. Nice. 5's coming along okay. That's good. All right, let's jump up to here. So we can use these 4 boxes. We know it cannot be across the top because that one's solved. We know it cannot be across the middle because that one's solved. This is no help, unfortunately. We know it can't be on the left because that one is solved. So it can only be here or here. And of course, this is another example of rule number 2. Hey, it's only on the bottom. If it's only on the bottom, it cannot be on the bottom here, and it cannot be on the bottom here. We already know that because those 2 are solved, but there is another example. Good. This one. We know we're going to get help from here and here, and here and here. Okay, no help up here. We haven't really solved it. These 2 are next to each other. It doesn't really help us. This one, it cannot be on the left. Okay? This one over here cannot be on the bottom. So we've got that little bracket looking thing going on. It can be in any one of these 4. This isn't any help, unfortunately. So, cannot be here, cannot be here, any of these 4. These 2 are already solved. So, it can only be here or here. And rule number 2, hey, look. This can only be in the middle of this big column in this box. It can only be in the middle. Therefore, it cannot be in the middle here, and it cannot be in the middle here. Now, this one doesn't matter because we've already solved it on the bottom. But look at this. It can only be in the middle here, so it cannot be in the middle here. I need to erase this. So I get rid of that, and that suddenly says, hey, this is the only cell that can be 5. There's no 5 written here. There's no 5 written here. There's no 5 written here. All of these are solved. That is it. That is 5. I'm going to erase these and put a 5 here. Now, we also just erased a 2. Where else can 2 go? Can't go here. Can't go here. This is the only place a 2 can go in this big box. The reason it can't go here and here, of course, is because of this 2. But also, this is the only place we wrote it. You don't have to go back and double check unless you want to. That's where 2's written. That's the only place a 2 can go because we erased that one. So this is going away. We're going to put a 2 here. Nice. Okay, so we solved a 5 and a 2. This is where cleanup starts getting really crazy, when you really start solving stuff. So can we clean up anything with this 5? Are there any 5s to be erased? I don't see any 5s anywhere in this column. What about in this row? Any 5s that need to be erased? No, it's looking good. What about in this big box? Any other 5s to be erased? No, we already took care of that. All right. How about the 2 we solved? Any 2s along here to erase? Right there. I see a 2. We can get rid of that. That 2 is gone. And we realize, oh my gosh, because we erased that one, there is only one possible place for a 2 to go in this big box. It's right there. This has got to be 2. This cleanup gets crazy. So we got to remember, we just solved that. Okay, so we were talking about this 2. That let us erase that one. There's no other 2s along here to erase. What about this way? There are some 2s. Wow, there's a lot of 2s to get rid of. We can get rid of this 2. We can get rid of this 2. We can get rid of this 2. Now, getting rid of these 2s suddenly revealed, oh my gosh, there's 2 2s on the bottom. They're only on the bottom. This is rule number 2. There's not a 2 here, 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 or here. There can't be any 2s there. 2 can only be on the bottom. Therefore, it cannot be on the bottom here. This cleanup is getting insane. So we know 2 must be on the bottom here. Therefore, it cannot be on the bottom here. So I'm going to erase this 2. And then all of a sudden, look, there's only one place a 2 can go, in this big box. Can't be here, can't be here. There's no 2's written there. There's only a 2 written there. That is the only place a 2 can go in this big box. Therefore, it is the place it goes. Wow. Okay. So, we were trying to clean up over here. There's no 2's here to get rid of, no 2's there to get rid of, no 2's in this big box to get rid of. So we're good there. We've got 2, 2, 2. Here, we've got 2 2's, that 2, and these 2. Okay, we're good there. That 2, that 2. And then we've got some 2's up here. Let's make sure we can't clean up anything there. This 2. There's no 2's to erase up and down. There's no 2's to erase right and left. No 2's in the big box to take care of. I think our 2's are cool. I think we better stop cleaning up because I'm starting to get confused. All right, so that's good. What were we working on? Was it 5's? Yeah, we finished the 5's. Did we finish the 5's? Yes, we've got a 5 there. We got 5's there. Good. Okay. After the crazy cleanup, I think we're safe to go on to 6. Let's try to go on to 6. And I do want to tell you guys, if cleanup gets too confusing, stop doing it. Because it can mess you up. Okay? Stop cleaning up if it's getting just too much. Just go back to solving for big numbers. So let's talk about 6. 6 is solved up here. That's awesome. Down here, it cannot be in the middle because it's solved there. It cannot be across the middle because it's solved there. No help here. No help down here. Sort of help. I want to point out to you guys, you don't have to be thinking this far ahead, but 6 cannot be in the middle down here, and it cannot be on the right because all 3 of these are solved. That means the only place 6 is going to be is on the left. So technically, right now, we could say 6 can't be on the left, it can't be in the middle, it's going to go right there. I'm going to write this out because we're still trying to pick up on this, okay? But we can see that. It's not going to go on the right because it's solved on the right. It's not going to go in the middle because it's right there. It can only go on the left. If it can only go on the left here, it cannot go on the left here and here because of rule number 2. It won't go on the left. It won't go in the middle because of that one. It'll be right there. But we're going to write it out, okay? We know can't go down the middle, can't go across the middle. So there's only 2 options for 6. Here and here. Bam. Okay? That's it for 6. Let's go down to this one. We know 6 cannot go in the middle. It can go on the right or the left. And it cannot go across the middle because of that 6 over there. So it can only go in these 4 corners. But these 2 are already solved. Therefore, 6 can only be here and here. Now, we know, 6 is only on the left in this big box. Therefore, it cannot be on the left here and here. So, we can erase this 6 on the left right there. That just leaves this 6. 6 can't go anywhere else. We would have written it down. So, this is 6. And we could see that in advance. The minute we crossed this down and realized, ooh, no 6 is there, and no 6 is here because they're all solved, they'll only be on the left. Therefore, they cannot be on the left here. Okay, good. So we've got 6, 6. Now, can't be there, can't be there. Can only be there and there. Good. These 3 are done. What about this one up here? Cannot be across the bottom because of this 6. Cannot be up the middle because of that 6. It's like a big upside down T. So it can be here or here. One of them is already solved, so it's just going to be in 1 on this side of the T. 6, 6, 6. There we go. Okay, that's good. That's done. What about this one? 6 cannot go down the middle, and it cannot go across the middle. It can only be in the 4 corners. Nice. let's get that documented. Cool. 6, 6, 6, 6. There we go. Now back up to here. All right, it cannot be across the bottom because of that 6. It cannot be on the right because of that 6. No help here, no help here. So we get this L-looking bracket thing. So it can only be in these 4. That one's already solved. So it can only be in these 3. There we go. Good. What about this one? Ooh, cool. Cannot be on the bottom because of that 6. Cannot be in the middle because of that 6. So it can only be in the top. And 2 of the tops are already solved. It can only be right there. Therefore, it is right there. Okay. So now we've got some cleanup to do because we just solved a 6. So up and down, any 6s we can erase. Yes, here's a 6. Right and left, any 6s we can erase. No 6s to erase. In this big box, any 6s to erase. No 6s to erase. Okay, good. Well, that was cleanup. Now, we can see here, oh my gosh, 6 can only be in the middle in this big box. Therefore, because of rule number 2, it cannot be in the middle in this big box, and it cannot be in the middle in this big box. Therefore, it has to be on the left and the right, which we've already solved. Totally cool. I think our cleanup is done. I think 6 is done. Now, there's another rule that I would like to point out to you guys. If there is only one cell left that is unsolved, if only one cell is unsolved in a row, column, or big box, then put in the missing number. And I bring this up right now because I just saw this row. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's no 7, but we've got an 8 and a 9. 7 is the only missing number, and we only have one cell left in the entire row. It has to be 7. Okay? If you ever get something all the way finished, and by something I mean a row, a column, or a big box, if you ever get it all the way finished except for one cell, you know the answer. Good. That is 7. All right. And that's really helpful because 7s are horrible in this puzzle. This is literally the only 7 we have. And we're about to start on 7s. Good.
I finished my syllabus.
All right. Good job.
Freaking done.
Good.
Yeah.
Well done,
and I
buddy.
can see the whole course. Everything looking good.
Okay.
And you're almost through this, huh?
Oh, yeah. We're up to 7. So it'll fall pretty quick now. Yeah.
Oh, you're not even using the little magnet numbers.
No, not yet. As soon as I get the other one, then I'll just start doing that next week.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll just start throwing them up when I solve them. All right.
Okay, keep going, buddy.
Okay. All right, so let's start with this one. We know these 4 can help us, of course, nothing diagonally. There's no 7 help here, no 7 help here. There is 7 help here, but we've already solved those 3. So that's not so great. Down here, no, don't jump ahead. Okay, so no 7s there. These 2 can be 7. All right, so now this one is solved. That's awesome. Let's go down to this one. No help here, but we have a 7 here. That's cool. So we know 7 cannot be on the left. And because all 3 of these are solved, ooh, I just realized this whole thing is done. We already know that's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because of rule number 4, we already know this is 7. Okay, good. But I was going to point out, 7 cannot be on the left here, and it cannot be on the right here because these 3 are already solved. Therefore, it has to be in the middle. Because it has to be in the middle down here, it cannot be in the middle up here. So this is gone. But we actually solved that 2 different ways because of rule number 4 and because of rule number 2. So that's cool. That is 7. And in fact, we can now use rule number 4 for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is the missing number. It goes right there. That's rule number 4. We were missing only 1 cell in this big box, therefore we could fill it in. Okay, nice. Wow, we got that whole thing done. Okay, so 7's here. Can't have a 7 on the left, can't have a 7 on the right for a couple of reasons. No help down here at all for 7s. So 7 can only be in the middle. So there it is. Good. Let's move on to this one. No help from 7s over here at all. Or down here. But we got a 7 there, so it can't be across the middle. It can only be in the top and the bottom. So 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. There. Okay. How about this one? 7 cannot be on the top. No help because we've already solved the top. No other help from any of these, so it really can only be here and here. Now, this is cool. Rule number 2. Hey, look. 7 can only be in the middle. Can't be on the bottom because these are already solved. 7 will be here or it will be here. One of those two, we know it. And in fact, we can also say beyond that, whichever one is a 7, the other one will be a 3, right? We're only missing 7 and 3. So either this is 7 and 3 or this is 7 and 3. Either way, we know that 7 and 3 are going to be in the middle in this big box. Because they're in the middle here, they cannot be in the middle here. They can only be on the bottom because the top is already solved and there's a 7 already there. So cool. We got to remember this. Rule number 2 is going to affect this when we get there. Okay? All right. So let's jump down to this one. No help. No help. No help. No help. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. All right. Give me a second to write some 7s. Here we go. There we go. Okay. 7s everywhere. How about up here? Can't be in the middle because of that one. No help here. We got 7s everywhere. No help down here. No help down here. So 7 cannot go across the middle. Therefore, it can only be on the top and the bottom. There we go. This one. 7 cannot be on the top because of that one. It's already solved, so it doesn't really matter. But it can only be in the middle because of this one. Therefore, it cannot be in the middle there, so it can only be on the bottom. No help here, no help here, only across the bottom. That's cool. We were able to eliminate a couple options anyway. Good. What about this last one? No help, no help, no help, no help. It can just be these two. Ooh, look, this is kind of a theme. This big box hasn't solved 7-3 yet, and this big box hasn't solved 7-3 yet. Cool. Okay. Anyways, I guess we'll move on to 8s. Okay, 8 up here, already solved. 8 here. 8 cannot be in the middle because this one's already solved. It can't be on the right because of this. These are already solved. It can't be on the top here because that's solved. Can't be on the bottom here. Wow, this is the only place 8 can go. And because, oh, also 8 solved there. Can't be there, can't be there. Can't be here or here because they're already done. This is 8. That's the only place it can go. Get rid of that 3, put in 8s. Now, we notice something. Oh my gosh. 3 can only be in the middle in this big box. It can't be here, can't be here. It's got to be in the middle. Because it has to be in the middle in this big box, it cannot be in the middle in this big box. Therefore, we can erase these. Now, I want to point something out here that could lead to mistakes that I've done in the past. I want to make sure everybody sees this. There's a 7 all by itself. That must be 7. No, we haven't done 9 yet. This could be 9, 7. We don't know, right? We don't get to say. The only thing that we do right now is if this was the only place a 7 could go, if these 7s weren't here, we could make that a 7. But it just being by itself right now does not mean the answer is 7, because it can't be 8, because 8's already there. But 9 is not done, right? Don't freak like this 3. This isn't definitely 3 because it's all by itself. A 9 could go there, right? So just because they're alone before you're done doesn't mean that's the answer, because there's 2 other places 7 could go in here, and there's 2 other places 3 could go in here. We do not know that that is definitely 3, right? Although now I can see that 9, so it probably is. But we're not going to do that, okay? All right, good. We're talking about 8s. So we solved an 8, which gave us a little bit of cleanup to take care of. The cleanup didn't tell us anything. 3s can be on the left here, on the middle here, and on the right there. So we're cool. Okay, we did our cleanup. Life is good. Ooh, actually, look at this cleanup. 3 can only be in the middle in this box. Therefore, it cannot be in the middle in this box. Do you guys see that? This is the only place 3 can go. Therefore, it cannot go there. This has to be 3. I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. And now we're down to just one cell. Rule number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 9. Okay. Okay. Cool. We already cleaned up our 3s. There's no 9s to clean up because we haven't done 9 yet. So 8. This happens at the end, by the way. The puzzle just falls into place. But this 8 is solved. So 8s are good here. Let's move on to this one. We don't get a lot of help. There's no help from this. There's no help from this. But we do have these 2. So 8 cannot be across the middle. And it cannot be up and down across the middle either. So it can only be on the corners. So I'm going to write 8 for these corners. There we go. Now this one. 8 cannot be down the middle. 8 cannot be across the middle. It also cannot be across the top. So that's cool. I was going to say it could be in the 4 corners, but it can't be in the top 2 corners because of that 8. Not here, and not in the middle. It can only be in these 2. So I'm going to put 8s there. There we go. Okay, 8's looking good. Let's move on to this one over here. We know that it cannot be on the right, and it cannot be across the middle. So we've got this sideways looking T thing. So it can be in these 4, but this one's already solved, so only in these 3. Here, here, and here. That's 8. Okay. What about this one? Cannot be across the top because of that 8, plus they're all solved. Cannot be across the middle because of that 8. Nothing in the top or the middle. Cannot be on the right because of that 8. That just leaves these 2. Good. Okay. I think 8s are done. Let's move on to 9s. So, down here is the first one we got to worry about. Can't be on the right because of that 9 and they're already solved. Can't be in the middle because of that 9. So it can only be on the left. But it can't be on the top because of that 9. And it can't be in the middle because of that 9. So that means this is the only place left for the 9. Therefore, it is the 9. There's 9. Good. Got to do a little cleanup here. There is only 1 6 written in this entire big box. Therefore, rule number 3, if this is the only place a 6 can go, then it is a 6. That's it. I'm putting a 6 there. And that means now there's only one 3 left on this entire thing. Therefore, it is a 3. Now, this is a new rule. Because we have gone through all of the numbers, we can now say if a cell only has one possibility after all the numbers are done, then it is that number. 7, this cell can only have a 7 in it. It can't have a 1 because of that one there. Can't have a 2 because of that one. Can't have a 3. Can't have a 4. Can't have a 5 or a 6 or a 7 it can have. It's right there. Can't have an 8. Can't have a 9. It is 7. After all the numbers are done, if there's only one choice in a cell, then that is the answer. I'm going to try to write that. This is an awkward one because it has some requirements. After all numbers are done, if a cell only has one choice, then that is the answer. Good. Okay. So now we got to do a little bit of cleanup here. All right. Any 7s we can get rid of here? Absolutely. So you guys can see there's only 2 possibilities left. A 1 or a 4. Don't know which one. It's going to be 1 or 4. Right? Good. So that's cool. What about this way? Yeah, there's some 7s to get rid of because 7 is crazy. So we can get rid of this one. 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 Now that leaves a 3 by itself. Okay? We can't say that's 3 because we haven't checked 9 over here. Now, it is checked. 9 is solved, so we're not going to put a 9 in there. This can't be 9, 3. So technically that's done, but I'm not going to touch it yet because I want to make sure after all numbers are done because that can mess you up, okay? So we did our cleanup. We're cool. We're going to leave it alone. Good. That's done. We're doing 9 up here. 9 cannot be across the top. It cannot be across the bottom. It cannot be on the right. It cannot be on the left. The only place 9 can be is in the middle. Therefore, it goes right there because it's the only choice. What number was that? Number 3, I think. Okay? So that one's done. That one's done. That one's done. That one's done. What about this one? 9 cannot be across the top. It cannot be across the middle. It cannot be on the left. It cannot be up the middle. That only leaves that. That is 9. That one is solved. So, all the numbers are done. So we want to look at each big box and see if there's any rules that we can apply. Let's start down here. After all the numbers are done, if a cell only has one choice, that's the answer. This is 3. So I'm putting a 3 there. And then we'll move on to our cleanup here. Oh, hey, look. That's all by itself. All the numbers are done. That is 7. More 3 cleanup. Can we get rid of any 3s up and down? Yes, we can. Look, there's a 3. And there's a 3. Those are gone. Now that tells us something about up here. Look at this. All the numbers are done. The only choice there is 6. It is a 6. Look at this. 2 is the only number there. It is a 2. All the numbers are done. That means we can erase this 2. My cleanup is getting insane. I know it is. I'm sorry. We can erase this 6. Okay, good. Any 2s we can erase down here? No. Any 6s we can erase down here. So I want to introduce to you guys kind of the next big rule that we're going to learn. Let's talk about a column. Let's talk about this column. This column only has 3 unsolved cells. Therefore, there should only be 3 numbers as options. Is that true for this column? Yes, it is. Those numbers are 7, 5, and 4. So we would expect to see 754, 754, 754. Now, we're not seeing it exactly like that because other things have knocked the 7 out of this one. They've knocked the 5 out of this one, right? Here's a 5. That's only 7-4 because 5 is already solved. But these 3 fit together. We've got a 7-5-4, a 7-4, and a 5-4. We know this column is as solved as it's going to get because we have 3 options, 7, 5, and 4, spaced out over 3 cells. And there's at least 2 choices for each. These 2 could be 7. These 2 could be 5. Any one of the 3 could be 4. We could erase that. We can't. Okay, this could be 4. But if that 4 wasn't there, it would still be okay because these 2 could be 4. Right? We're not going to erase anything. I'm just trying to let you look at this column and go, that column is pretty solved. 7, 5, and 4 are what we're worried about for this column. And I can clearly see 7 and 5 and 4 are the only choices all the way down. And we have at least 2 for each. So there's no more solving going on there. Let's talk about this column. There are 4 cells that still need to be solved here. And 4 numbers, 8, 7, 5, and 4. Okay, 8, 7, 4, 8, 7, 5, 4, 5, 4, 8, 7. We have at least 2 choices. There's 3 8s, there's 3 7s, there's 2 5s, and 3 4s. That column's not going to get any more solved than it is. Okay, let's talk about this one. 8, 7, 3, 8, 7. Whoa, there's only 2 empty cells, but we got 3 numbers, 8, 7, 3, and 8, 7. Something is wrong. We don't want to just assume what's wrong, but something is wrong. When I look really close at this, aha, 7 is solved. We didn't do our cleanup for 7. We got to clean up this column. So this 7's got to go. Of course, that leaves this number all alone. All numbers are done. Therefore, this is 8. That's all there is to it. That's 8. Now we'll do some more cleanup. That 8 goes away. Hey, that just leaves a 7 there. All the numbers are done. Therefore, that is 7. Okay, so that's good. Got some more cleanup to do as we go up. This 8 can go away. And in fact, that 7 can go away too. That just leaves 3. All the numbers are done. This is 3. Okay. All right, so 3 was solved there. And this also applies to big boxes, not just to columns, but it applies to rows and big boxes. Look at this big box. There's 4 cells available here and 4 numbers, 8754, 754, 74, 874. There's at least 2 of every single one of them. That's as solved as that's going to get for now. That big box is. Let's talk about this big box. It's got 2 cells, only 2 options, 5, 4, 5, 4. There's at least 2 of each. That's as solved as that's going to get. This one too. But we were talking about columns before. So let's go back to columns. We solved this. That's 7. We need to clean up that 7. So as we go up this column, we can see, ooh, there's a 7 right there. Let's get rid of it. And there's a 7 right there. Good. So now we have 3 cells and we have 3 choices, 8, 5, or 4. 8, 4, 8, 5, 4, 5, 4. There's at least 2 of each. Therefore, that column is pretty much as solved as it's going to get. So I feel really good about this big column being as done as it's going to get. Now, when we go across a row, it may mess with this. Hopefully it will, because we want to solve the dumb thing, right? Good. So that's looking pretty good on that end. Our cleanup is good. Everything's cool. Let's move on to this one here. What can we determine about this? Now, this is getting really rough, because look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 different choices. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 1. Okay, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 1, 7, 6, 4, 3, 1, 8, 6, 3. We have at least 2 of every number. It's a mess. That's a giant mess. Let's talk about this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's a little bit better. Only 4. 7, 3, 2, 7, 1. So clearly it's 7, 3, 2, 1. 7, 3, 2, 1, 7, 3, 2, 1, 7, 3, 2, 1, 7, 3, 2, 1. Do we have at least 2 of each? Yeah, we got 3 7s. We got 3 3s. We've got 2 2s and 2 1s. Yeah, so that row is basically as solved as it's going to get. What about this one? This is another huge mess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2. 6, 3, 2, 8, 7, 4, 7, 3, 7, 6, 4, 3, 8, 6, 3, 2. Yeah. Do we have at least 2 of each? We got 2 8s. We got 2 7s. We got 2 6s. We got 2 4s. We got 2 3s. We got 2 2s. Yes. We got 2 of everything. These columns look awesome. This one, it's only missing 2, 4, 1, 4, 1. Can't help with that. So we're good there. That one looks good. Okay. Let's now, we've sort of talked about all of the columns. So now let's talk about all of the big boxes, okay? This big box is totally done. This big box looks great. It's just got 2 options, 5, 4, 5, 4. This one looks good, 8, 5, 4, 8, 7, 5, 4, 8, 4, 7, 4. There's 2 of each. This one looks great because it's just got 2 choices, 4, 1, 4, 1. We've got 2 of each of those. These are done. So this middle is our real problem. Let's start with this one. There's only 2 cells. 7, 3, 7, 3. We have 2 7s and 2 3s. That looks perfect. That's done. These 2, I'll bet our next step is going to come from one of these 2. And in fact, in looking at this, I just realized, oh my gosh, we solved that 7. There's a 7 right there. We got to get rid of that 7. There's some cleanup that we missed. Cleanup's the worst. All right, so that 7's gone. Although it's also the best because it helps you solve things. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 boxes. 8, 6, 3, 8, 6, 3, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 1, 7, 6, 4, 3, 1, 7, 3, 1, 7, 6, 4, 3. It sounds like 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7 boxes, 7 options. Do we have at least 2 of each? We definitely do. We've got 2 8s, 2 6s, 2 3s, 2 2s, 2 1s, 2 4s, 2 7s. Yeah, we've got 2 of everything. It's a mess, but that's really as far as it's going to get. Let's talk about this one up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, 7 options. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2. What are we missing there? 1. Okay. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, there's no weird numbers that aren't part of 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do we have at least 2 of each? We got 2 1s, we got 2 7s, we got 2 8s, we got 2 4s, we got 2 6s, we got 2 3s. Yeah, that's really about as far as it's going to get. So now we'll start talking about rows. Let's talk about this row right here. This row only has 3 cells that are empty, but 8, 6, 3, 2, that's 4. That's not right. 3, 2, and 8, 6, 3. That is not right. There's something really wrong here because we only have 3 cells, but we have 4 options. That is not right. What did we miss? Are any of these a 9? No. Are any of these a 7? No. Are any of them a 5? No. 4? No. 3. This 3. Look at that. There should not be 3s here. So I'm going to erase this 3. I'm going to erase this 3. I'm going to erase this 3. So we know that number is all by itself and all of the numbers are done. Therefore, this is 2. Because that's 2. That isn't 2. So now we've got 8, 6, 8, 6. We have got, for this row, 2 options, 2 boxes, 8, 6, 8, 6. We have at least 2 8s and 2 6s. That row is much better. Let's move on to this row. 1, 2, but we have 3 choices. 4, 3, 1, 4, 1. That's not right. We shouldn't have 3 choices here if there's only 2 cells in this row that are empty. Something's doubled up. This 3. This 3 should not be there. We're going to erase that. 4, 1, 4, 1. We got 2 4s, 2 1s, 2 cells, 2 options. That's perfect. Let's go on to this one up here. 7, 6, 4, 3, 1. That's 5 numbers. We only have 4 cells. Why do we have 5 numbers? Probably this 6. We got to get rid of this 6 all throughout. It's got to go from here. Cleanup is rough. It's got to go from here. 7, 4, 3, 1. 7, 4, 3, 7, 3, 1, 4, 1. Good. 7, 4, 3, 1. That's much better. Okay. We got 2 7s at least. We got 2 4s at least. 2 3s at least. 2 1s at least. Good. 4 options, 4 boxes. That's perfect. 4 cells, I should say. Okay. That's done. What about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4. Now, I want to point something out to you guys that's really cool. This is interesting. We're not going to write this down as a rule yet, probably until the next puzzle, because we don't really need it for this one. But I want to show you this, okay? We have 4 options, 4 boxes. 7, 5, 4, 3, okay? There's 2 7s, there's 2 5s, there's 2 4s, there's 2 3s. These 7 3s are by themselves, and these 5 4s are by themselves. We don't really have 4 options, 4 cells. We have 2 options, 2 cells, and 2 options, 2 cells twice. That will come into play later. I'm just going to say this now, even though we're not going to use it yet. If this was 5 4 5 4, and then 7 3 7 3 5 4, we could erase the 5 4 from here. Because we know if this is 5, this is 4. If this is 4, this is 5. 5 4 is done. We don't know which one it's going to go in, but it's done. There should not be a 5 4 here and not be a 5 4 here because they're already done. Same is true this way. If this was 7 3 7 3 5 4 7 5 4 3. If this is 7, this is 3. If this is 3, this is 7. 7 and 3 are done. We don't know which one they're going to go in, but they're done. There cannot be a 7 or a 3 here. But we'll get into that later, okay? But that's a cool rule. So for this row, we're good. 4 options, 4 cells, we're good. This is a mess. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5. 8, 7, 5, 4, 1. Yeah, we got 2 8s, we got 2 7s, we got 2 5s, we got 2 4s, we got 2 1s. Nothing we can really do there. What about this one? 1 cell, and yet we got 3 numbers? What the? 6 and 2 should not be there. 6 and 2, no way. That's only 3. 3 is all that's left. That's a 3. Good. Actually, we better do some cleanup with this 3. Okay, so this 3, if we go up and down, we can see here, this 3's gone. Therefore, that must be 7. because all the numbers are done. And if that's 7, then this 7 can go away. That just leaves a 3 there. Therefore, this is 3. This 7 can go away. This 7 can go away. Oh boy, but I don't want to forget what I had there. 8, 4. This 7 can go away. Okay. Good. We solved that 3 as well, so these 3's can go. This 3 can go away. This 3 can go away. Good. And that means, nope, never mind. I was going to say that's the only 3, but it's not. There's 2 3's. So we can't do anything with that. Okay, well, that's all right. That was some good cleanup. That was cool. So now, that looks okay. That looks good. We took care of that. That was a mess. That was a big mess. So now this top one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 choices, but 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2. There's 6 possibilities written up here. Something is doubled up. Aha. It's, oh, we solved the 3 in here. Clean up. Oy, okay. Let's get rid of these 3's. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. 3 is right there. There's no way this top thing would be a 3 because 3's right there in this big box. Okay, so let's try this again. 8, 6, 4, 2, 7, 2, 8, 7, 6, 4, 8, 4, 7, 4. Good. 5 choices. 8, 7, 6, 4, 2. 5 cells that they could go in. Or do we have at least 2 of each? We got 2 8s, we got 2 7s, we got 2 6s, we got 2 4s, we got 2 2s. Yes. Okay. So, no help with that, but we've changed a lot. So now we got to start over. Okay. Let's go back to big boxes. Are all the big boxes okay? We got 4 cells, 4 numbers, 8, 7, 5, 4. We got 2 8s, we got 2 7s, we got 2 5s, we got 2 4s. This big box, we got 2 cells, 2 numbers, 5, 4, 5, 4. We got 2 5s and 2 4s. Perfect. That's done. Let's go to this side because it's easier. Done, done. 2 cells, 2 choices. We got 2 1s and 2 4s. That's perfect. That one's done. That just leaves these 2. These 2 are the worst for us, I gotta say. So this big one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have got 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 1. Okay. We got 2 8s, we got 2 7s, we got 2 6s, we got 2 4s, we got 2 3s, we got 2 1s. So that is fine. That's as done as we're going to get it looking at it this way. We'll probably find some answers in columns and rows, but when looking at the big box, that's as good as that's going to get, okay? I do want to point out for future reference, this really isn't 6 cells and 6 choices. This is actually 2 cells with 2 choices, 8, 6, 8, 6, and 4 cells with 4 choices, 7, 4, 3, 1. That distinction is important because once again, if there was an 8 here, and this was just 8, 6, and this was 8, 6, if this is 8, this is 6. If this is 6, this is 8. There is no getting around the fact that 8 and 6 are done in this big box. They're also done in this row. We just don't know which one they're going to go in. Therefore, there cannot be an 8 and a 6 up here. And there cannot be an 8 and a 6 anywhere else in that row. It doesn't matter now. It's not a rule we're going to go into. But you're going to use this all the time. So 2 cells, 2 options. 4 cells, 4 options. Both within the same big box. Let's talk about this one. 8, 7, 6, 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. 8, 7, 6, 4, 2, 1. Okay, so we've got 2 8s. We got 2 7s. We got 2 6s. We got 2 4s. We got 2 2s. We got 2 1s. This is really about as good as it's going to get when we're looking at big boxes. Now let's go to columns. This column, There's 3, and we've got 7, 5, 4. 2 7s, 2 5s, 2 4s. That looks really done. There's nothing else we can do. This one has 3 cells that aren't finished. There are 3 options to go in there, 8, 5, and 4. We have 2 8 choices. We have 2 5 choices, 3 4 choices. Nothing really to be done there. That one's done. Let's talk about this one. No, I'm going to jump over here because it's easier. This one's done. This one's done. This one has 2 choices, 4 1 and 4 1. We got 2 4s, 2 1s. That one's done. Let's go on to these columns, the worst. I'm going to start from this end. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 empty cells. 8, 6, 4, 2. So 8, 6, 4, 2 should be the only choices in these. 8, 6, 4, 2, 8, 4, 4, 3. What? Oh, that 3 is done. Okay, we can get rid of this 3. Let's get rid of this 3. That, of course, leaves 4 all by itself. Therefore, because all the numbers have been done, we know this is 4. Do a little bit of cleanup. This can't be 4. That leaves 8 all by itself. That is 8. There's a 4 up here we can get rid of. And we just solved the 8, so we can get rid of that. Oh, and look down here. 8, 6. There's that 8. We can erase it. That leaves 6 by itself. That is 6. That 6 can go. Therefore, that's a 2. We've done all the numbers. We know that's a 2. We got a lot of cleanup to do now. So down here, 6 is done. Therefore, 6 needs to get out of there. That just leaves 8. So that's an 8. 4 is done here. We can get rid of this 4. Right? We can only have one 4 in this big box. That 4 has got to go. That leaves 1 by itself. Therefore, that can go. 4 and 1. Look at that. 7, 4, 1. 4 and 1 can go. They're already solved for this big box. They're out of there. That just leaves 7. So this is 7. 7 and 1 are solved. We can erase the 7 and the 1. That'll just leave the 3. Therefore, this is 3. Okay. Nice. Going up this way. Look, 8 and 7 are solved. But there's an 8 and a 7 here. And there's an 8 and a 7 here. I got to get rid of those. Okay, so this column has a 6, 4, 1, but only 2 choices. That's not right. What's wrong? 1. 1 is right there. And get rid of this 1. That just leaves 4 by itself. All the numbers are done. Therefore, it is a 4. Let's erase this 4 up here. That leaves 6 by itself. All the numbers are done. Therefore, it's a 6. Look at this 2. We can get rid of this 2 right here. That just leaves 7 by itself. Therefore, this is 7. Right there. That 7 can go. We've already solved 7 in this big box, so it can't be there. That just leaves 1 by itself. Therefore, this is 1. Okay. Nice. That was really big. That was good. When you're down to the final steps, what you're going to do is check each big box to make sure it works, each row to make sure it works, and each column to make sure it works. That's an essential piece of finishing these. Look at this look at this row, I mean. 7's done. There can't be a 7 there. That leaves 4 by itself. That means that's 4. Erase that 4. That leaves 8 by itself. Therefore, that's 8. Now let's shift gears and look at this big box. 8 and 4 were just solved. They shouldn't be there. 8, 4, that just leaves the 5. Therefore, this is 5. All right, let's look here. 5, 4 is already solved. We can get rid of that. Therefore, that just leaves a 7. So, this is 7. Good. Now we can shift gears. Of course, when we look at this big box, 2 options, 2 cells, 5, 4, 5, 4, 2 of each. That's not going to work. But when we look at the columns, we see, oh, that 4 is already solved. We can go ahead and get rid of that 4. That just leaves a 5 there, so that becomes a 5. And then, of course, now in the big box, we can get rid of this 5. That just leaves a 4 there, so that's a 4. Good. Now this, we could try to look at this column, but we can see, oh, there's 2 cells that aren't done. 4, 1, 4, 1, 2 4s, 2 1s. That doesn't help us. Look at the big box, 2 cells that aren't done. 4, 1, 4, 1, 2 of each. Doesn't help us. But when we look at the rows, all of a sudden we only have 1 cell that isn't solved, but there's 2 numbers in it. That doesn't make any sense. Aha, there's the 4. We can get rid of that 4. That leaves just a 1. So this is 1. And of course, when we look at the big box, we can see only 1 cell is left unsolved, but there's 2 numbers in it. Oh, good, we can get rid of that 1. That leaves just a 4. So that's 4. Good, and that is our answer. I'm not going to check it in the back of the book. Just let me know in the comments if there is a mistake. We'll go over it together, but I'm pretty sure that's it. One way to tell if you don't have the answers in the back of the book is just to count to 9 on all the rows, on all the columns, and all of the big boxes. If you can count to 9 in all 3 of those areas, then the puzzle is correct. For instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that top row has 1 through 9. Now this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you get the point. For instance, let's pretend this column had 2 8s in it, okay? When we were counting, we'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. And we'd realize we'd made a mistake in the puzzle. But you don't need to do that. You can just buy the book, and you'll be able to tell. The answers are all in the back. This book is brilliant. Pick it up. Definitely buy it. It's super cheap. It's easy to get. Grab this book. It's wonderful. All right. Thank you so much. Please let me know if there's a mistake down in the comments. Also, if you were able to solve the puzzle before you had to watch the video, we can talk about or places you get snagged, questions you have about our 5 rules. Obviously, I'm going to keep going over and over them. But those are the 5 so far. So thank you very much for watching and have a great day.